Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well and having a good week. This week, I want to talk about rhetorical analysis. This is going to be your first paper, and rhetorical analysis is new for a lot of students. So I want to take some time. I want to walk through the PowerPoint that is in our modules. So I'm going to bring that up. So rhetoric is something that goes all the way back to Socrates. So a lot of the terms that we have come from him and his students Aristotle and Plato. And some of the terms are Latin, that's why. The first thing we want to talk about is what is rhetoric? Rhetoric is anything that we use to persuade. It can be written, it can be verbal, it can be visual, it can be physical, it can be what we say, it can be how we say it, it can be what we don't say, it can be anything that we use to get what we want. Analysis is a term that we're going to be using all semester. I'm going to tell you have good analysis. I'm going to tell you need a little bit more analysis. The verb to analyze means to break up into smaller pieces to find meaning. And this is something that we do every day. If you think about things in your life, you're probably constantly asking why are things the way they are? How did I get here? Or how did things get to this point? That's analysis. So when we talk about analysis, I'm going to be asking you, so what? So what that the writer used the word smile. So what? Who cares? That means let's take it a different step. Don't just tell me what is going on. Tell me why and how it is happening. The rhetorical square is a tool that we use to analyze rhetoric. You should see these terms, purpose, argument, persona, and audience on the outside of the box. The PowerPoint wouldn't allow me to do that. But this is a tool that we use that we're going to be using to analyze rhetoric. The first one is purpose, and it's the most important because everything goes back to purpose. Purpose is the point. It's what the author or speaker wants. And in your essays, your thesis is your purpose. Argument is very connected to purpose, but they are different. Argument is how the author or speaker gets us to do what he or she wants. It's how we are convinced. It's how we're persuaded. So purpose is what the speaker wants, and argument is how he convinces us to do what he wants. Audience is to whom or for whom the author is writing or the speaker is speaking. It's very important. All of our messages are geared towards audience. It literally determines how we're going to present our rhetoric. So for example, on Saturday morning, we have Saturday morning cartoons, right? And during those cartoons, we have commercials. Well, what kind of commercials do we have? We have toy commercials, we have snack commercials. And why is that? Because the audience is children. Whereas like during a college football game, the ads are completely different because the audience is completely different. The last one is persona. Persona is who the writer or speaker is on that particular occasion. It's a mask, an image, a role that we play. And that doesn't mean that it's deceitful. It just means that's who we are in that moment. So while I'm making this video for you, I have my professor persona on. But later today, when I'm with my kids, I have my mom persona on. When you are with your friends, you have a certain persona. When you're at work with your boss, you have a different persona. It's how we present ourselves. And it can be an advocate, an informer, an educator. You can come across happy, you can come across angry, you can come across upset. They're all different ways that we use our personas. So Aristotle said that we need 3 elements to be completely and thoroughly persuasive: ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos is an appeal to ethics. Socrates said, in order to be a rhetorician, we should have the good of the community at the forefront of everything that we do, and that we need to be ethical. So if someone doesn't share our values or our morals, we're not going to trust that person. Ethos is whether that person has credibility. Do we believe that person? Are we going to trust that person to do what he or she wants? Logos are facts. Facts, data, stats, research, anything that's researchable. This is something that appeals to our head, right? Things have to rationally make sense for us to do something. So logos is an appeal to our logic. Pathos is an appeal to emotion. If we don't have an emotional connection, we're not going to do what that person wants. If we don't feel things are right emotionally and things are coming together emotionally, we're not going to do what that person wants. Okay. So that's just a quick overview of rhetoric. Next week, we're going to be talking about your first paper, which is a rhetorical analysis of a TED Talk. I want you to keep in mind that rhetoric, when we analyze rhetoric, we talk about how things are presented, how things are sold to us. It's not necessarily what, but it's how. So next week when we talk about the TED Talk, I want you to keep that in mind. It's not necessarily what he's saying. That is important, but that should not be the primary focus of your paper. Okay? All right, I'll see you online.